End bad governance protest is on every Nigerian lips as we speak. It is part of a broader advocate, or should I say movement, advocating for better governance, accountability, and human rights in the country. The question arising from some quarters is whether it is the right thing to do, whether the protest will address the imbalance, the poverty level, the insensitivity, the poor management of the resources, the bad economy generally, the corruption, the impunity of violating rights, and so on and so forth. Or whether the protest will worsen the situation considering the poverty level and crime rate in the country. Whether it will lead to degeneration into terror and a reign of anarchy. What do you think? Please leave your comment below. Our focus today, however, is not whether the protest will solve our problem or not, but rather the legal correctness of the protest. Does the law recognize protest as a means of addressing national issues with the government? Hi, I am Ared, and this is Legal Tips with Ared, a platform where we aim at putting you on the right side of the law. Stay with me till the end. Trust me, you will either learn something new or be reminded of something you had overlooked.
I know you're wondering what emailer means. Emailer means thank you.
The legal correctness of any protest in Nigeria can be assessed through several angles. It can be from the much guarded constitutional right or its legality under Nigerian laws, and of course, the international human rights standard. Now, let's break this down. Number one, constitutional rights. The Nigerian Constitution, in its fundamental human rights provision, guarantees the right to peaceful assembly and freedom of expression. Freedom of assembly here refers to the right of individuals and groups to come together for a common purpose, either to express their views publicly, exchange ideas, or hold a peaceful protest. Freedom of expression, on the other hand, is the freedom for us all to express ourselves. It is the right to speak, to be heard, and to participate in political and social life. These provisions support the legal basis for citizens to organize protests and share their grievances against the government, including issues related to governance, as is the case in the current agitation. Number two, legal framework for protests. Our laws did not just make provisions in the Constitution, but also provide other legislation as legal framework to support the right to protest. In other words, this right as provided as subject to regulations, meaning you have the right to protest, but you are not allowed to go overboard. Certain legal frameworks and laws are put in place to govern public gatherings and protests in Nigeria. One of such is the Public Order Act, which regulates how protests can be carried out, the conditions under which protests can occur, and it requires that organizers of protests provide prior notice of the intention to protest to the appropriate authorities. The organizers are required to notify the police about the planned protest, specifying the date, time, and location. The authorities here are allowed to impose restrictions on the location and timing of the protest in order to maintain public order, but such restrictions should not be arbitrary or overly restrictive. Number four, international human rights. From an international human rights perspective, Nigeria is a signatory to several treaties and conventions, such as the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, ICCPR, which protects the right to peaceful assembly, This is an additional comfort for the organizers of any protest in Nigeria because violations of the right in ICCPR by the state actors during protests can be challenged internationally. Number 5, public sentiment and legitimacy. I guess you are wondering what public sentiment and legitimacy is doing under legal correctness of organized protests. While the legal framework is important, the moral and public discourse surrounding the protest also play a vital role in assessing the legitimacy of any protest. In the particular case in focus as we speak, many citizens support the End Bad Governance movement due to widespread dissatisfaction with corruption, with lack of basic services, human rights abuses, hunger, and hardship. This fact lends legitimacy to the protest, even as organizers navigate complex legal framework. And since the Constitution guarantees the right to freedom of expression and assembly, it is therefore reasonable that people's sentiment be responsibly acknowledged. What have we been saying? The legal correctness of the End Bad Governance protests in Nigeria is grounded in constitutional rights and international human rights obligations. However, practical enforcement, police conduct, and legal restriction empowered by legal framework may pose significant challenges. Dialogue about governance, accountability, and citizens' rights continues to shape the landscape of any protest in Nigeria. Legal practitioners, civil society, and human rights organizations should play critical roles in advocating for the protection of these rights amidst the tensions surrounding current public dissent. Hope this made sense. If yes, please subscribe to this channel, like, comment, and share this video. And you want to learn more? Turn on the notification bell and be among the first to be notified when we upload a new video. Until then, remain blessed.